Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the first broadcast of 2021 for CH Sports. I'm Scott Withers here with Jeff Corns. Jeff, why don't you tell us what we're going to be watching today?
Today we are going to be watching the Winter Siege at Pineway. This is a tournament that Dustin Keegan is running on a ball golf course, and we got a sweet card today to check out, so this will be a fun one.
Yeah, this is kind of our course designer and Young Guns card for hole one. As you can see, Jeff and I doing commentary. We are going to be a commentary team for this year, so it looks like we'll get some time together. We'll see where we're at when we're doing it, but today we're both in Oregon. So round one, Dustin Keegan, Chris Nelson, Cole Redolin, and Ty Love. A couple young 1,000-rated 16-year-olds. Chris Nelson, who everyone knows has jumped up the leaderboards in the Northwest, and then Dustin, who is the course designer and someone that's been around the game for a long time.
Yeah, and we got a special little treat now on CH Sports. We have some sweet drone flyover videos coming to the coverage, and we'll start off on hole one. The drone's taking kind of maybe the conventional route that we'll probably see most of the players throw on this card. There is this kind of low hyzer skipping backhand, but we'll probably see a lot of players throw a forehand around the left side. It's much more open.
Yeah, drone did not do any favors to the way these guys are going to throw this hole. I would imagine everyone's throwing this forehand that Dustin's lining up to start. I was really comfortable with this hole. It was like 330 feet. I was just taking my Raptor and throwing it just like Dustin did there, and he almost hits the cage. Really good start. It does kind of fade away after the basket on the right, so you can skip down the hill a little.
Yeah, about 20 feet deep, it does kind of start sloping off. So if you smash one, you could be down the hill about 40 to 50 feet away, but Chris looks like he's got this dialed. That looks pretty good.
This is right in Chris's forehand wheelhouse. Is kind of the distances both he and I throw him. Cole's got more power with the forehand. Let's see if he gets the accuracy part down. It looks like he flattened it out. That's going long, but with the skip, he should be right at the edge of the circle.
I've played a couple rounds of Ty, but I haven't got to watch him too much and see a lot of his game. I know he's a really good putter and just, all around solid off the tee, but his putting is what he excels at.
Yeah, Cole is a little more of a streaky putter, but when he does get it going, he can rattle putts in from everywhere, and he would like to have that one back to start the day.
Yeah, maybe a little bit cold out of the car or something, still shaking it off and getting warm for the round. But Chris is going to convert on the birdie for hole one, starting off hot.
Yeah, Chris is a guy that's putter is very rarely cold. He continues to impress with that putter. It's really a stab that he takes with those XDs, but man, consistency, he's been right at the top for the last couple years. And Cole, with the cleanup, you can see how good Dustin's drive was there, and Ty even closer. So feeling good. Hole one, not the hardest hole on this course. We are at a golf course, so this is a complete temp setup. Dustin was able to secure some of these sweet, I guess they're Discmania baskets. They're the same thing as the Pro 28s.
No, they're slightly different. So they have a more shallow cage, and then instead on the rings in the middle, they have one ring on the chains instead of two.
Okay, so modified Pro 28 disc catchers, and
yeah, they're similar, but they might catch just a little bit different. You'll see kind of a little different on the lower right pocket, I think, but that nice blue color really stands out well.
Yeah, I was really excited to play on these for a day. They were great. Moving on to hole two. I thought this was a very similar shot to hole one, but there's definitely two lines that you can take here. You're going to see some players go backhand either mid or fairway and try to skip one in like Dustin's doing here. You're also going to see some people take a forehand line that will kind of have to sneak through the trees, but I thought it played a little better into the green. Dustin, good shot, gets a skip, and it was kind of hard to control your distance if you were throwing that backhand line.
Yeah, I had trouble coming up in the right spot on this one. I kept coming up short left, but Chris is swinging it wide and right, and that should check up pretty nicely.
Yeah, once it gets to the crest of that hill where he hit at, it's really got a dart left, and if it doesn't, it falls down a hill that's decently steep, and it's not like it gets in trouble. It just kind of gets out of birdie zone. I like this line that Ty's throwing, and super clean. That's a good forehand, but it does carry a little far right and takes a skip down the hill, and he's going to be outside the circle putting for birdie.
Cole lining up the backhand. I'm not sure what he's throwing on this one. I got to play with him during one of the rounds at this second round of this tournament, but so we'll see how that ends up panning out for both of us. But not sure what he threw there on that one. He switched it up, I think, from what he throws in the second round.
Here's the collection zone that you can see, and everyone was a little bit, I'll say, long right of the basket, even though I mean maybe they're not technically long. Cole up here, scary putt. I had this putt in the first round for sure and was lucky enough to cash it in from up there, but that's staring at about 45 feet, and if you miss, you come down here to where Ty's putting from now. Nobody able to convert.
Dustin's got our last chance for birdie on the card. Just a little off.
It doesn't really look like it on video, but the green does slope away semi-significantly, and it's enough to get in the players' heads, and you can see the umbrellas coming out. It wasn't forecast to rain much this day, but man, it was kind of nasty in that first round.
Yeah, it had some weird weather kind of on and off, like light misting rain, so there was water in the air and on your discs a little bit. You were going through some towels a bit, but
there was water on the ground as well, as we'll see in some spots, because this is not the portion of the course that was super sloppy, but as these guys get through this round, you'll see some spots where there's standing water in some places, and we've had a really wet winter in Oregon, and when you're doing temp courses, especially on golf courses, sometimes there's not much to do. Through 2 holes, 3 players at 1 under, Cole at even, nothing hurt to start here. This was kind of a scoring section of the course, though, I thought, so you do want to get off to a pretty hot start. Hole 3, it's like kind of a weird stall hyzer that goes over a hill, and there's a path long that you're going to see in the drone footage here that is out of bounds. You can see where the golf cart is. I didn't see a lot of people actually go over that path because everyone was a little concerned about it on the tee shot, and I saw a lot of people leave it 40 feet short and have tough putts, but you really had to choose here whether you wanted to go high or low around this tree.
Yeah, and you can kind of see where Dustin's at. The tee pad got pretty torn up on this hole too, so there was some, I watched almost everyone on my card slip in some degree, so, everyone's sitting there kind of focusing on footing, not trying to throw the disc hard and smush it long, but it's a touchy shot.
Chris goes with his Adam Hammes Glow Z Zone. It's high and left. We're going to the basket that you can see the band of, not the one that you can see the whole basket of. That was a big old downhill par 3 we're playing later. But you're right. This tee pad right now, when these guys are playing it, isn't that bad. But as the day went on, man, it got real chewed up back here in this spot. So you can see Ty slip a little there. That shot's going to come up 60 or 70 short of the basket, and that's a really tough putt to run.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a pitch up from there, I would think, just because if you blow by it, you miss metal, you could sail it out of bounds.
Cole looks to have that thing a little wider. I wonder, he's got to be going mid, maybe putter.
Yeah,
there.
that's a drone.
Okay. I wonder if that's what he threw on the hole before then, because it looked like the same color. It seems like a long way to throw the drone, but...
Yeah, that might be it.
But, I was thinking, I went Malta in the first round, and then I said heck with it, and I think I threw Challenger in the second round. Ty, these kids, they're young, they got no fear, they're going for everything.
Wow, Chris got really long left. I'm not sure if he crossed the path, but...
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he stayed in bounds, and I think he picked his zone up off the ground, so I have a feeling he stayed in bounds, and that was his par putt. Kind of crazy to get that far left.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Maybe he got some kind of roll off the ground.
Oh, a little sloppy, but it's in.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd, at this point, kind of like to get his putter warmed up. He's had 3 putts that have been shaky, not really where he looked like he wanted them, but one of them's in, so, at the end of the day, there's a 2 on the scorecard.
Totally blind course to all of us. Anytime you're playing, well, not to Dustin because he did the setup for it, but to the rest of us, we had no clue what to expect out of scoring for this tournament. They did the flyovers and they looked kind of tough, and they did put it out for players beforehand. I think Tanner LaBelle was out doing the drone footage, and then Brian and Dustin had moved some baskets around to make it look good. But we didn't really know what to expect, so I'm sure with these guys too, a little bit of help being on Dustin's card where he actually knows the holes and can kind of explain what's going on, but it's a different experience when you're playing these temporary golf course setups and we don't have the course necessarily reserved for the whole week before, and you're winging it. You're kind of just relying on the things that you know how to do.
Yeah, moving on to hole 3 though, Dustin's off to a solid start. 2 through 3 is pretty good start. As you said, it's a scoring stretch of the course, and everyone else at 1 down, they're staying with it.
Yeah, I love hole 4 here. I threw it in the creek, or whatever we want to call it, in the first round. It was a no-doubter right in the middle of the water. But I thought this was a really good setup. It's 400 feet. It's a really good top MPO hole. It's probably not a great hole for the other divisions if they can't quite get it over there. But there was a couple distinct lines that you could take. I was lining up kind of like Dustin is here and going through the middle of these trees. If you wanted to play a wide hyzer around the first one, you absolutely could. You can see some white stakes in line with the basket, and that is a roped area of a creek that is out of bounds, and it's probably about 25 feet from the basket. If you go straight in line with the basket, the farther right you go, the farther away from the basket. Dustin turns his over. Cole going tracker on this? That's huge. Yeah. Or is he just laying up?
No, he's going tracker, and he's going for it.
Man, I was throwing a force hard on that, trying to get it over.
Yeah, I was barely getting my Zeus there. I was on the card in front of them, so I got to watch these come in on the green. Cole hits that tree right up by the green, kind of maybe stopping him from going OB, but he should be about 20 feet from the basket.
Chris, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Great shot there. I assume that was his DD3. He throws that disc so well. And then Ty, going to take that same line. God, he slipped on a couple tee shots. That came off pretty clean for what looked like his foot peeled out.
I was thinking the same thing, and there's 3 people probably within 25 feet of this one.
Perfect. We were warming up on this hole before the tournament, and James Moore threw it straight off the cage. It was such a good shot. Had to reference it.
Wow. That is sweet.
Dustin, got to be careful. That's exactly what you're trying to do. That one's not super makeable just because of where that hazard is. Cole, this is what he does, man. Kid slams in putt, so that's an impressive birdie to throw a fairway driver, and trackers aren't even fast that far.
Yeah, like I said, I got to play with him second round, and I got to see what he does with the tracker, and he makes it look like a distance driver at times. He was blowing by some holes, and I was like, wait, you threw fairway again?
Yep, some of that uncontrolled 16-year-old power still as he wrinkles it back in a little bit, but 3 birdies and a tap-in par, that's got to be as good as any card played this hole all day.
Yeah, I'm looking at the whole stats right now, and this one is right around in the middle of the scoring. It just averaged slightly below par for round 1, which is, that's pretty good. For round 2 it did. For round 1 it averaged just slightly over par, but again, right in the middle of scoring.
This video is brought to you by Resistance Discs. Head over to resistancediscs.com and use code CHSports at checkout to get free shipping on any order over $25. Thank you to resistancediscs.com, and let's get back to the video.
All right, another super cool hole. I don't necessarily consider this a birdie hole, and this was a sucker hole. It ate a lot of people up that tried some funny stuff on this hole. 418 feet, there's a very straight shot that you can take. You can try to throw a hyzer around the right. You can throw forehand. Cole's going to throw the hyzer. Tries to go high, and this is what happened to probably 90% of the people that try to throw hyzer. You do have to get inside the cart paths on this hole, and I just saw hyzer after hyzer not even get close to being back in, and you're re-teeing basically from there because you really don't ever cross land.
Yeah. Chris is going with the much safer approach, just swinging that forehand out, checking it into the middle of the fairway. Going up the middle is the most direct approach, and as soon as I saw this hole, I was like, man, this is such a good Dustin Keegan hole. This is what he loves to throw, just straight, long shots at that 400 to 420 foot range.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good hole. The basket being on the right side made it so our safe forehands had a little more work to do. when we were warming up on this one, I had no intention of going spike backhand, and you'll see Dustin as he set this hole up, and I thought, this whole layout was really good.
Oof. That's a good tree to catch for him.
That looked like it was going to sneak out of bounds right. The only advantage of going up the middle and going out right is at least you're up the fairway, where Cole, you can see, he's re-teeing and trying the hyzer again.
Yeah, you got to keep it high and inside of that tree because, he just sneaks that one in too. There's not much ground play out there.
Yeah, the cart path's not safe, so he landed inbounds by 2 or 3 feet. But we'll have some kind of a look to save 4, more likely a 5, but we'll see when he gets up there. Dustin, straight shot, still looking like probably a little over 200 feet out, going standstill. I'd imagine probably a tactic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of those.
And then Chris's forehand gets him into Chris Nelson range for sure. Those XDs float and float and float, and sometimes find the basket from back there. Isn't able to convert, and then Cole has this for bogey, and it's kind of needed at this point. Yeah, he was a long way out too.
That one's going to sting a little bit, picking up potentially a 5 early on. Not a good look on a hole that really, this hole actually averaged exactly 2 par.
No way.
Excuse me. No way. Okay, sorry. This is hole 5.
Yeah.
This one averaged about a third of a stroke over par.
Okay.
So, he's losing a stroke and a half to the field.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I didn't see there being enough 2s on this hole. Ty gets one right here. That's a heck of a 2. Ty gets one right here, but I didn't see there being enough 2s on this hole to make up for the people that did go out of bounds in the tee shot. But that's a great one. Ty picks up 3 on Cole on this hole, and they got a little rivalry going, and they always want to beat one another, and they're really good buddies. So, they're always checking where each other at.
Yeah, Ty was one of 4 2s on this hole during the first round. So, those are some great 2s to get.
Dustin cleans up his par, gives a wave to the fans somewhere off in the distance. We didn't have very many spectators out here this day. The weather definitely kept everybody else away, and a little nasty, but that was kind of the end of this bottom section of the course, and now we get into a couple more holes that you can score on. We look at a really good start for Ty. We're through 5 holes. He's 3 under par. Chris and Dustin at 2, and then Cole with that double goes back to even. But I guess he's definitely not out of it at any stretch. But you would like to, if you're even at this point, you would like to start getting some birdies to kind of get back in.
And this is one that you can really start on. This is, in my opinion, one of the best holes on the course. This is an awesome uphill par 4. We're going again with cart paths on either side, playing up that same strip of grass. But up here on the right side again, tucked away is the basket. And, most players are going to probably throw in fairway to distance driver off the tee and then trying to leave themselves with like a mid-range backhand or like overstable forehand approach.
Yeah, and don't let the fact that it's 520 feet as a par 4 fool you. It took a really good tee shot and then an accurate upshot to get a birdie on this, and it didn't play as easy as you would think a hole this short does. I didn't think the tee shot was that difficult, but you did have to throw a straight shot that was going uphill at least 325 or 350 feet to really have a chance, and those 2 do it super well to start.
Yeah, anywhere kind of right around that stump is going to be a fine spot to be. You'll have good access to the green, but also plenty far enough up the fairway.
Yeah, Dustin lining up probably a distance driver and gets over on it, is asking for a tree hit down. It tree hits, but it goes onto the gravel, which is out of bounds. We'll see where they give it to him at. I assume those branches are hanging over the grass, but that could be a pretty big difference.
I'm pretty sure that's Cole's Zeus. He threw a white Zeus or during my round that I played with him. And that should be up there. If he's throwing distance driver, it's going to go far.
Yeah. When we had a little backup on this hole, we went up and looked, and I really saw that you wanted to be left on this drive to open up that green. Dustin did get the mark up there, so he throws his 3rd shot, and he's going to be, just outside circle 2 probably, putting for his par. But you're going to see now the guys that hit their lines and their drives, and it gets away from Ty and takes a tree kick. It's kind of a little bit of a missed opportunity to get a really easy birdie. And then you can see Chris just says, I'm going to go forehand, and
Try to be a little cute with it, and gets away from him just a bit.
At least the sweatshirt looks good.
It does.
Yeah, those were not the upshots that Ty and Chris were looking for. Cole's got a much harder upshot. And, oh no.
Yeah, it's a tricky one going that high. He's in a tough place, kind of pinched off on that right side. As you were saying, you really want to be left.
Yeah, we were up there. You can see me taking my bag off in the top right corner. We were watching these guys putt on this hole, and I was just assuming they were all birdie putts, but I was not correct by the time we got up here.
To save his par. What do you got, Dustin?
60 feet? Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Good putt, good par. Really good par after going out of bounds where he did, because that's not a spot that you want to be.
No, like we were saying, the right side is dangerous. So getting up and down there, really good.
Yeah, we get a replay. Extension, the high open hand. That's how, Dustin's forms stayed consistent with that for a long time, and you can kind of tell when he gets it high enough. Chris has earned himself a little bit of a tough putt here. Did that kiss the tree?
I thought it might have. It looked like I saw what you saw, and I don't know.
Oh, that might have got the tree. That's not helping his luckiest disc golfer in Oregon, Nathan Ryan, points there, because Nathan tells a lot of stories about Chris getting all the love. If he banked it in off the tree, we're going to have to get Nathan in for some special thoughts on that one.
That would, yeah, I know. As soon as you mentioned it, I was like, did it? It looked like it might have. I want to see the replay on that one just to see what happened.
Yeah, Colin definitely didn't catch it when it was being edited, or he would have thrown a replay in there. Ty goes ahead and cleans up for his par. And then that was our first 6 little loop of the course, and you just basically, they're walking back up kind of towards where one's tee box is now, and you've played the first loop, and this course is almost in 3 6-hole loops. So
yeah, it really is.
Yeah, so that was the first little bit. 3 down for Chris, 3 down for Ty, 2 under for Dustin, and then Cole with a par on that. That's fine. His drive got tucked in the right, and it was pretty tough and went out of bounds. This hole, really close to being really, really cool, and then the golf course parked a golf cart in our way in the middle of our tee pad.
Yeah. This hole is, it's downhill. It's 345 feet. It probably plays 280 maybe. But you got the cart path on the left side, so if you throw something that's going to stable out, you have potential of going OB. But you have a low ceiling kind of initially. You have to get under these initial tree branches. So, you got a gap to hit, really, on a hole that normally you'd be like, I really want to get the birdie here. But it's got a touch to it.
Yeah, and loose gravel does not help on tee pads. I would almost rather throw for mud. But Dustin showing you what the shot's supposed to be. I actually threw forehand on this hole both times and got it. The first round I got it to about 30, hit the pole and came straight back out of the basket back behind me, made a sweet bogey. And the second round I got it through to the left side. The footing was so bad on the tee pad, I thought it was safer. You can see Cole peel out and misses the Luna off his hand, and that goes over the cart path out of bounds, and he's going to have probably 50 or 60 feet to clean up to save par.
Chris is going back to that Hamas zone, putting himself right next to the basket.
Good shot by Chris. I know he's been working really hard on that backhand upshot, and it's something that's not his strength, but he knows that, and he's been grinding and trying to get better at it. So that one worked out really well. Cole from 50 and comes up empty.
That's a frustrating one. You like I said, you want to birdie this hole because a lot of these guys are throwing putter or mid on the hole just trying to get it. And wow, nice putt from Dustin.
No chains needed on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, another one from circle 2.
for sure.
I want to see that one again too. Give him back-to-back replays.
Oh, here we go. We got it. So I was saying, didn't need any chains on this. If you watch this putt, it's going in the bottom of the cage. Super clean. Doesn't need anything. Probably doesn't even need the pole, honestly. I think it would have just landed in the bottom of the cage. That was perfect.
Yeah, that would have been clean.
Get Ty outside the circle for sure. Probably in the 40-foot range.
And there's that putter I was talking about.
Goes and does the slow jog up to get it. Do you know what he putts with? I know he's a trilogy guy.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know the trilogy line of discs super well. That was sweet, though. Never left the line. Cool. Cleaning up. Another bogey, and not the start he was looking for. We were kind of given a warning by co-TD Brian Peterson at the start of the round that I will say 9 through 12 or 13 stretch was kind of the really hard part of this course, or maybe even say like 9 through 15 stretch. So these guys are getting the holes out of the way early that they want to take advantage of, and a couple of them do here. The next 2 holes are definitely gettable, but then the course gets quite a bit harder.
Yeah, I'm looking at the averages like you just brought up, and I'm seeing in the top half of hard holes are holes 10, 11, 13, 14. There's a stretch coming up that, you're going to want to really convert on.
Yeah. Hole 8. There is a little creek behind this basket that players have to be a little aware of that we didn't really know was there and was out of bounds, and then the road. But this is a pretty basic forehand. The hardest part of this was the tee pad was really slick, and then where you want to throw forehand from, they did put a couple golf mats down, but they put them in the spot that you want to throw backhand from, not forehand. So if you're trying to throw what apparently Dustin and Ty thought was easier shot and what I thought was the easier shot in the hole, standing on the green mats didn't do you a whole lot of good.
Yeah, I watched, also assistant course designer and TD Brian Peterson on my card. He threw the backhand up through the right gap and just pured it, and watched James Proctor do it right afterwards, and they were both within 20 feet. I couldn't imagine someone throwing the line better than those two guys did.
Mm-hmm. It's a tight line with the backhand. The forehand's definitely more open. Cole says, I'll throw from the mat. He went left gap with the turnover. Didn't see that coming. What in the world was that thing?
He threw buzz on that one. I think he's got like a super color buzz with a design on it. And
yeah, that thing's understable for sure to glide right through that line.
Yeah.
But all of our players are going to have putts, which you kind of expect on this hole. And Dustin goes off the top, and we'll settle for par. We see at least one disc close, and we see Cole is maybe 25 feet a little long left. So a pretty good shot for taking that ante line.
Yeah, you can't complain on converting that birdie.
No, good 2 from Cole there. It's a hole you want to pick up, but it's definitely not a gimme. Pump faking everybody out. Oh, pump faked himself out.
Yeah.
You can tell probably raining a little bit at this point. You don't see umbrellas out, but Chris had his putter under his shirt the whole time, trying to keep it as dry as he can. And like you said, it was more of like an annoying mist.
Yeah, just put enough moisture on your disc and on the ground that you had to, keep toweling your disc off and making sure your putter was dry before you putted.
Mm-hmm. Dustin cleaned it up. So we have 2 pars, 2 birdies, and we're going to move into our last hole of the front 9 with 2 players at 4 under, Dustin at 3 under, Cole still at even or getting back to even with that birdie. And we're moving into the most open hole on the course in terms of like short point and shoot, but it was a little trickier than it looked. It's 300. It's not 375. I can tell you that. It was right at 300 feet.
It's 310. I lasered this one because I walked up, I saw the tee sign, it said 300, and I was like, no way, that hole looks way too short. And it was actually 310, but this tee pad was muddy.
Yeah, tee pad muddy. The angle was a little weird, and you can see the white flags on the left side. those are out of bounds, and it got some people for sure. We had a guy in our card hit one of the trees, roll into the little tiny creek that you can see on the right, be fully surrounded, and then threw one left over the flags, and then putted out of bounds and took like a 7. It was a tough thing to watch.
Oh my.
That's really good. Is that same buzz again?
That's that same buzz again. Oh, and I saw the flag. That was such a good shot. It was just right on line.
Yeah, he needed a basket hit for sure and just barely missed it. This is probably a good play. That one might not be stable enough.
Come on.
I
That
don't
should
think
be good.
so.
No? Oh, I liked it.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's a little bit of a low cover, but man, that shot seems... Maybe I just don't throw 300-foot straight shots very well, but Dustin slips. But is it short enough? He did the slip, but it was soft enough that it didn't get to the out of bounds, so he'll have a birdie putt. We'll see, yeah. And unfortunately, with that forehand, ties out of bounds quite a bit back. Oh, he wasn't even close to getting in bounds if you see his disc over there. Cole was close to getting inbounds, hit the flag, and just barely snuck out. But good news, capitalizes, makes it 3P.
Good save.
Dustin pretty good off the tee from there. I would have taken this drive every time on this hole.
Oh, absolutely. I struggled with footing on this hole both rounds.
I just struggle with throwing 300 feet and straight. I think that's the bigger
so do
issue
I.
than footing for me.
I threw the forehand just because I was like, there's no way I'm throwing a buzz or a Charlie SS just straight enough, long enough to keep it right by the basket. Like, I watched Proctor throw a rock just dead straight and put it almost in the base of the basket.
Yeah, he makes those things.
And I was like, I wish I could do that.
That's a shot that he possesses that I have never once possessed, was just like the straight floating rock. Good putt by Ty. Chris for birdie over here?
Count it.
Yeah, something that players should look at if you're a new player. If you watch Chris putt, his head stays so still when he putts, and his vision is always at the basket, and even with that little bit of a straddle. So as we wrap up the front nines, any big thoughts there, Jeff?
Nah, I mean, we got a nice start by Dustin and Chris. Ty, made a little blunder on that hole, but definitely still in the mix. Cole, he's looking to get something going on the back nine.
Yep, so thank you to our sponsors, CH Sports sponsors. You see the Upper Park Disc Golf Bags advertisement coming over the screen, but thanks for to Colin for videotaping, and we will catch you guys on part 2.
Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.